getting close to midnight on the doomsday clock for jeepney drivers and operators facing the consolidation deadline set by transport authorities. This edition of Motoring Forum tackles concerns raised by pundits over modernization program that seems to be targeting the phase-out of traditional jeepneys. Jeepney transport groups have been stepping up protest actions against the mandate by government for jeepney drivers and operators to consolidate as cooperatives or corporations in order to participate in the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. Transport authorities said that the December 31, 2023 deadline for consolidation will be enforced while touting the incentives and benefits of PUV modernization. These included subsidies for acquiring modern PUVs or jeepneys, longer franchise periods, replacing the boundary system to regular salaries for drivers, and priority in new routes. At the same time, government warned that franchises which fail to consolidate could face being disallowed to renew the registration of PUV units with the LTO. This was seen by many transport groups as the beginning of the much-feared phase-out of traditional jeepneys. With a deadline approaching and the transport strike staged by drivers, the LTFRB has softened its stance on consequences of failing to consolidate, saying traditional jeepneys can still operate if they submit applications to consolidate even without completing requirements. This comes with a caveat that the LTO deems their units as roadworthy. Whatever happens in the last few days before the consolidation deadline, some pundits remain skeptical about the success of the PUVMP, especially with regard to traditional jeepneys, the main mode of transport for people in urban areas. Earlier, operators and drivers of modern jeepneys aired their problems with the PUVMP. Cooperatives ended up unprofitable and burdened by debts incurred from acquiring modern jeepneys. Drivers who complained that salaries, instead of earnings from boundary system, were not enough with quotas imposed on them. All this seems to confirm the conclusion of many pundits that the PUVMP needs a rethink. Some, like Segundo Secla Romero, who writes a column for Inquirer.net, question why the LTFRB is front-loading and focusing on the displacement of traditional jeepneys by modern jeepneys ahead of other components of the PUVMP. Romero pointed to a study conducted by the Congressional Policy and Budget Research Department that said the right sequencing of activities and programs in the implementation of the PUVMP is very critical. The CPBRD, which serves as the think tank of the House of Representatives, suggested the PUVMP could have started with regulatory reform, Local Public Transport Route Plan or LPTRP formulation and submission, and route stabilization first before embarking on fleet modernization. Romero also pointed out that Cooperative Development Authority, the sole government agency mandated to register all types of cooperatives, jeepney driver-operator groups have not been included in technical working groups for the Jeepney Modernization Program. This seemingly agrees with the contention of protesting transport groups that they have not been properly represented or consulted by the technical working groups involved in formulating and implementing the guidelines for the PUVMP. In an opinion piece in Inquirer.net, Romero wrote that the LTFRB is ill-equipped to successfully implement the program because it does not fully appreciate the situation of jeepney drivers and operators and the cultural significance of jeepneys in the Philippines. The PUVMP needs to be restudied and refined. That can't be gainsaid. But should government stop the program cold and start anew? Can it be stopped at all with the momentum already gained by the program? Will this be fair to those who have participated in the program on good faith? Those are questions transport authorities may have to consider. That's our Motoring Forum this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.